And we are back, and we are literally counting down the clock till midnight when it becomes official, NIL. It's a very confusing conversation. We've talked to so many people about it, but we really want to welcome our next guests in because they are not only, one of them is not only well-versed in what it's like on the field, but he is now an executive in a company. I'm speaking of Ayden, Syal, and former Notre Dame quarterback Brandon Wimbush. They are part of a new company, MOGL, that is helping in this platform. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Ayden, Brandon, thank you so much for joining us, and we cannot wait to hear more about it as everybody is counting down the clock.
Yeah, Paul, thanks so much for having us. Yep.
Let me start with you, Ayden, because I want to just talk about the formation of this company and what your objectives were initially, and what do you think is going to happen at midnight tonight?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. So what we've done here at MOGL is we've created a platform that will connect current and former collegiate athletes to opportunities to monetize their name, image, and likeness. And we've done so in a way that really empowers all collegiate athletes, not just the Trevor Lawrences of the world. So we've really focused on the local level and really focused on providing opportunities for all of them. We're fully compliant, safe, secure, fully vetted, and we're really excited about the prospects this week and beyond.
And Brandon, take us to what you were doing really not very long ago on the field, not only at Notre Dame but down at UCF. Give us a perspective of what you think some of your many friends that are still in college football and all intercollegiate athletics, for that matter, are going through right now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement, Paul. And first off, I appreciate your love-hate relationship with my alma mater there up in South Bend. But there's a lot of excitement surrounding this opportunity for all the college athletes. And like Ayden said, that's where the MOGL platform is really going to come into handy and be able to cater to the masses, from the least revenue generating sport all the way up, even offering opportunities in the local level to guys like Trevor Lawrence. So from my experience, both in South Bend and Orlando, I'm really excited for the communities and just the guys and the girls that are willing to be around, the fans. We like to think that everybody within the equation is going to be able to benefit, from the athlete to the communities to the local businesses, and then obviously the universities are going to benefit, being that the fans are more engaged and seeing the success of the collegiate athletes.
Ayden, how is it working right now? I mean, you guys certainly understand the rules better than we do. Compliance is something that I think nobody has properly explained to anyone yet. But right now, as the clock is ticking, what is going on, not only with your group but around the country?
Yeah, Paul, I mean, it's a tricky and slippery slope at this point, right? So obviously we've been following the state laws as they've come in. On July 1st, as of a week ago, 7 states had approved name, image, and likeness legalization, notably Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, just to name a few. But now, obviously, the NCAA has been scrambling to put some processes in place that would permit all collegiate athletes to monetize their name, image, and likeness. So what we're doing at MOGL, I mean, our business model hasn't changed, right? We've still created that platform that will allow athletes to create their profiles and seek out opportunities to monetize their name, image, and likeness. But now we're going to be able to roll it out to more athletes. And the big focus here is going to be on compliance, right? Obviously, we were founded for athletes, by athletes, and we never want to impact the eligibilities of athletes. So we built in the necessary disclosure processes for them to disclose directly to their compliance offices. But we're at the mercy of the NCAA and what's ultimately going to be required by them.
Brandon, since it's only been a couple of years since you were competing at Notre Dame and really a good quarterback, a fantastic quarterback, what do you think it would have been like 4 or 5 years ago if you had been able to participate in this?
That's a great question, Paul, and I think it brings up who our key customer, our ideal customer at MOGL is, and I think I would fit that mold. Being that I played in such a small community like South Bend, and even though you gave me a lot of praise, I wasn't a national level, caliber quarterback that may have been able to garner some of these national level brand deals like the Trevor Lawrences, who we keep, we're referencing here. So I think for myself and putting myself back in the shoes of when I was playing at Notre Dame, I think I would have done a really good job of garnering those localized Midwest type deals where a lot of the economic activity is driven by Notre Dame athletics, and being the quarterback there, a lot of the deal flow would have flowed obviously through that position. So and then obviously in Orlando, it's a little bit of a shift in terms of the culture, being that Orlando is such a tourist heavy location. So there's bigger entities that want to spend more money on all athletes, right? So I think when you talk about the spectrum of athlete who's going to be able to benefit, I think when you speak about a city like Orlando, all those athletes there at UCF are going to fare well.
Ayden, we talked to Dan Murphy earlier from ESPN, and he said there could be some really big deals announced tomorrow, but I think we all know there aren't going to be that many mega deals. When you're talking to athletes, when you're trying to prepare them for this, what is realistic in terms of what they can monetize?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that's still being figured out, right? The big component here is that we do need to educate all of our athletes and educate them on the fact that, it's really exciting. July 1st is a major, major change for all of them, but that they still need to be very thoughtful about, who they are engaging with. Do these businesses represent who they are as people and who they want their brand to be, or how they want their brand to be portrayed? So what we've spoken with, with all of the athletes on the MOGL platform is that you guys are all going to get a ton of opportunities. We're really excited about the opportunities that we'll be able to drive for you, both at the micro-influencer level on behalf of large national brands and, more in the community with autograph signings and social media campaigns and private athletic training, and just to name a few. But to be thoughtful and to be, just be very considerate about the businesses that you want to engage with. So there are going to be some major, major headlines tomorrow. We fully, are appreciative of that, and we're really excited for the athletes that are going to be able to get those type of deals. But for us, we're trying to be very thoughtful about our rollout here.
Talking to Ayden and Brandon Wimbush, Brandon, let me ask you this in terms of time. Being the quarterback at Notre Dame or any school for that matter is very time consuming. You have all the work that's required of you, the additional films that a quarterback would go through, and then there's class. Notre Dame's a high caliber academic institution. How much time do you think is going to be available for players and athletes all across the country to do what may be required of them or asked of them to do to be able to monetize their value?
Yeah, I think that's a great question and a great point, Paul. But I think what we set out to do from the MOGL standpoint is create a solution that's very streamlined and very seamless for the athlete to engage in some of these endeavors, from social media campaigns to autograph signings, which are going to be in person, and appearances, and personal training lessons, which are all different because they're going to be in person again, which are going to, and it's going to be more time consuming. But from the process of working with a platform and getting paid and disclosing the necessary documents to your compliance office and to your necessary personnel, we've made that process very streamlined and again seamless for the athlete. So it's on the athlete to take full initiative into how much time they want to allocate, as is anything else that they do on their own campus. But again, we set out to accomplish creating a platform and a product that would be, again, the easiest for the athlete and the businesses that choose to work with these athletes, the easiest to maneuver and to navigate.
Brandon, if I could throw another question at you outside of this conversation. As you know, we spend a lot of time here talking about the college football season, Notre Dame included, but I would be interested in, and I think Tennessee fans would be interested as well, in your thoughts of their new coach, Josh Heupel. I think you may be familiar with him.
Yeah, pretty familiar with Coach Hype. Well-respected, guy that was in the locker room, and I think that was his first go-around at being a head coach down there at UCF. He did obviously a phenomenal job of continuing that victorious streak for UCF after their self-proclaimed national championship, and I think it was 2018. So he had a lot to stand up, and a lot to follow up on after I think it was Coach Frost down there. But I think he's got the team down there at Tennessee pretty excited. I mean, I heard there may have been a couple of guys to transfer out of the program, but I think they're set in a good place. And then even from a higher standpoint, with Danny White, who's actually a former Notre Dame graduate himself, running the athletic department, and obviously bringing Coach Heupel over, I think they're in really good hands. And I think they got a couple quarterbacks there as well that are ready to lead the charge.
Ayden, let me end here. Tomorrow is going to be a crazy day for NIL. Take us through not only tomorrow, but how you and you think this entire platform is going to adjust in the next few weeks. So what do you think it's going to be like?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be such a learning process, and we're really excited about it. We've luckily been around for about 2 years now, so we've gotten to validate the use case and work with a lot of really great partners and local businesses throughout the past 2 years, leveraging our resources with former collegiate athletes and current professional athletes. So we're definitely very confident in our ability to provide opportunities for all of these collegiate athletes, but it's going to be a big learning process, right? We're going to learn a lot about what these local businesses want to get out of athletes, what the athletes are looking to get out of the process. So we're just extremely excited. We built MOGL to really become synonymous with collegiate athletics, and we believe that it can be. So we're really excited to be able to provide value for athletes, the community, and for everyone engaging with this process.
Ayden, Brandon, thank you very much for the time. Best wishes with MOGL, and we will look forward to talking to both of you very soon. It's happening at midnight tonight. NIL will become official. We are heading to the break. Much more to come right here on our program, and we will get to your phone calls and many more guests right after this.